Today we're going to learn about the basic beliefs of Islam. During Muhammad's life, his followers memorized his messages and his words and his deeds. After his death, they collected his teachings and wrote them down to form a book known as the Quran. Muslims believe the Quran to be the exact word of God as it was told to Muhammad. The central teaching in the Quran is that there is only one God, Allah, and that Muhammad is his prophet. The Quran says people must obey God's commands, the command which they learned from Muhammad. Islam teaches that the world has a definite beginning and will end one day. Muhammad said that on the final day, God will judge all people. Those who have obeyed his orders will be granted life in paradise. According to the Quran, paradise is a beautiful garden full of fine food and drink. People who have not obeyed God, however, will suffer. Like holy books of other religions, the Quran describes acts of worship, guidelines for moral behavior, and rules for social life. Muslims look to the Quran for guidance in their daily lives. For example, the Quran describes how to prepare for worship. Muslims must wash themselves before praying so they will be pure before God. The Quran also tells Muslims what they should not eat or drink. Muslims are not allowed to eat pork or drink alcohol. In addition to guidelines for individual behavior, the Quran describes relations among people. Many of these ideas changed Arabian society. For example, before Muhammad's time, many Arabs owned slaves. Although slavery didn't disappear among Muslims, the Quran encouraged Muslims to free their slaves. Also, women in Arabia had few rights. The Quran describes rights of women, including rights to own property, earn money, and get an education. However, most Muslim women still have fewer rights than men in the ancient world. Another important subject in the Quran has to do with jihad, which means to make an effort or to struggle. Jihad refers to the inner struggle people go through in their effort to obey God and to behave according to Islamic ways. Jihad can also mean the struggle to defend the Muslim community, or historically, to convert people to Islam. The word has also been translated as holy war. The Quran is not the only source of Islamic teachings. Muslims also study the Hadith, the written record of Muhammad's words and actions. This record is the basis of the Sunnah. The Sunnah refers to the way Muhammad lived, which provides a model for the duties and the way of life expected of Muslims. Because of this, the Sunnah guides Muslims' behavior. As we learned, the first duties of Muslims are known as the 5 pillars of Islam. Those are faith, prayer, fasting, almsgiving, and the Hajj. In addition to the 5 pillars, the Sunnah has other examples of Muhammad's actions and teachings. These form the basis for rules about how to treat others. According to Muhammad's example, people should treat guests with generosity. The Sunnah also provides guidelines for relations in business and government. For example, one Sunnah rule says that it's bad to owe someone money. Another rule says that people should obey their leaders. The Quran and the Sunnah also form the basis of Islamic law, or Sharia. Sharia is a system based on Islamic sources and human reason that judges the rightness of actions an individual or community might take. Islamic law makes no distinction between religious beliefs and daily life, so Islam affects all aspects of Muslims' lives. Sharia sets rewards for good behavior and punishments for crimes.